Hello and welcome back. So, this video is going to be the second to last part of my sterilization series. So, this video is actually going to be about the short-term disability final answer, which got denied. It's not that I'm surprised because it took so long to arrive to this final denial. So just a little background. I had my procedure on September 26, 2022, a bilateral salpingectomy. You can see the previous videos about that. And so as far as short-term disability, this is the first time I've ever attempted any kind of leave whatsoever from any job. This also came about because I wanted to get sterilized. I have known for a long time I don't want to bear any children. And I felt like at the time, Roe v. Wade was overturned. There was all this upheaval about reproductive rights, all of this stuff going on, and I just felt the need to get this done for myself rather than the numerous amounts of possibilities that probably would happen in the future, not knowing, a lot of details about it. So I say, you know what? I know I don't want children. Let's just make this permanent because I know that's what I want to do for myself. So with that being said, got in contact with the doctor, made the appointment, and now through my job, once I gave HR the heads up, they sent me off to a third party that handles the company's leave and all those things. So when I got to that person at the third party company, I believe that was Larkin, those are the people that took my dates that I requested and the initial medical documents from the doctor, what I was getting, and how long I may need off. I actually requested a week because, I just needed enough time to recover and get back to work. I knew I couldn't be off work financially. I couldn't be off work that long. So I had initially put in for a week. So that took a while. When I finally got a response, it was for 6 weeks. I didn't question it because it was the doctor's recommendation. So I said, okay, it's 6 weeks. And then the Larkin person told me to get in contact with principal, who actually handles short-term disability claims. But I could not do that until my first day on leave. And my first day of leave was September 25th, the day before my surgery. That was my first day of leave. So time goes by. I'm officially off work. Of course, it's Sunday. Can't call anyone. And my procedure was the next day. So the next day I have my procedure. I'm in recovery. And at that time, Hurricane Ian was, drumming up some stuff, and the whole city was getting prepared. So I get released, go home. Of course, it's evening time. I can't call them. The rest of that week, electricity was out, water was off, offices were closed, the whole nine. So I couldn't get in contact with anybody for that whole week. So then the following week, I finally called and I talked to principal. This is me getting my initial documents in from me, my employer, and more information from my doctor. So between us three, over the next few days, maybe a week or so, for everybody to get their stuff turned in. Finally, everyone has their stuff turned in, and I kid you not, literally, this stuff was pending for the next, literally, 5 weeks. Pending, calling twice a week, trying to get an update. Oh, it's still pending, still processed. So a couple of days before I was to return to work, I had got the first denial. It was denied because technically, for my procedure, the recovery time would fall in less than the elimination period that was needed to qualify for benefits. So this is like when I'm like starting to like really see this stuff for what it is, because in all the time that I have been calling, these people know what procedure I was getting before I even, got well into my my leave. So I'm like, now that it's almost time for me to go to work, go back going to work, making my money again, and now it's being denied because I technically could have went back to work before the elimination period was up. And it's like I'm getting all of this information after the fact. So I said, okay, I'm appealing, right? So I appeal, and another few weeks of back and forth processing, sending me letters. And when we got into the new year, January, she said that she needed more information. Then this is Principal, the place that handles the small claims. So she needed more information. So at this point, she wanted my doctor to explain why she gave me 6 weeks off, and to send, pre-op notes, post-op notes, and whatever else information that she had surrounding my procedure to explain that. And when she finally let me get to see these documents, because anytime that stuff went from me to her to Principal, I can see what I'm sending. But when my employer sent stuff, or when my doctor sent stuff, I had no access to those documents whatsoever. So when we got past the second denial, and she said, like, if I wanted to appeal, which I did, she needed even more information. So once we got into the end of February, because she called me on my birthday, and she was like, well, we're still processing. At this point, we're going to need a letter from you, telling us why you think we should reverse the decision. And at this point, I do not really have faith in them, in the system, and all of this stuff. It's just like become a big, huge, messed up game. So I said, okay, I'll write the letter. And I wrote the letter just explaining how I felt about this whole thing, and that I had no more information to give. The doctor gave you everything that she had. And she really didn't say too much around why I was given 6 weeks. It just literally said to recover from my procedure. And then, all of her doctor's notes about, what she found when she went in. And I mean, I read everything. So it's like, for me, that should have been good enough. So then it came down to the main two reasons why they were going to stick with the denial, was because Principal's medical team says that minimally I only needed 3 days off. Maximum, I only needed 7 days off. Whereas my doctor who performed my surgery suggested 6 weeks. So her suggestion was not aligning with their medical suggestion, and I'm here stuck in the middle. And I even like questioned that. I'm like, well, if she gives me 6 weeks and you guys are saying 7 days, how is this like I'm to blame for this? And who would you expect me to listen to as far as my care goes? This is my first time ever having any kind of surgery. And even I suggested that we, only because I was worried about my own pockets, that I would go to work even if I wasn't physically ready, because I have obligation, I have bills to pay, all of this stuff. So I was like, well, if I had to listen to anyone, I would listen to the person who is my doctor, who's performing the surgery. I would go with them. So it's not that I even regretted anything, because I didn't, because like I said in my medical leave video, those 6 weeks blessed me abundantly, way past physical healing. It was just a total mind, body, soul reset for me. So when this finally and so that was one of the reasons that they stuck with the denial. And then the other reason they stuck with the denial was because my procedure was elective and therefore could have been postponed to a later time. And the way I explained that was that I go to work and I work a weekend day as well. So I might have got a little sassy, but I basically said, whether I choose to do something for myself well within my rights versus being hurt or harmed or a medical emergency that is threatening my life would still require time from work. And this time off did not disrupt the business whatsoever, or else they wouldn't have approved it, So like, it made no sense to me whatsoever. And I just chose to roll with it, as far as doing what I could do. And I felt like I did what I could do. I provided information. I had my doctor provide more information. I did all that I could do for them to still come back with a denial for the third time after I had officially sent a personal statement letter to them at their request to see if I could change their mind. So yeah, when I got the final letter mid-March saying that they were going to stick with the denial, I was like, okay, the case is closed. I have done all that I can do. I'm going to leave it alone. And guess what? Something better is definitely coming my way. And I just have no need to put any more effort into that. None. So my experience overall with progressive is that they suck. But I needed those 6 weeks more than I thought I did. So it was worth it. It was worth it. And yeah. And now I could just move on from that. I am thankful that even though this didn't pan out, that the insurance company, Cigna, I'm thankful that they ended up covering my entire surgery. So yeah, you win some, you lose some, and it's okay. I got my job. I am stable once again, and I'm happy. And then now, there's so much going on with, reproductive rights and everything, which is sad to see. But I'm just glad that I did what was best for me. And I stand behind that decision 1000%. I'm glad to be where I am as a sterilized woman. I get to give all my love to my nieces and nephew, and yeah, I'm super, super happy to be an aunt. You know, no regrets whatsoever. But yeah, it was a disappointing experience, you know, for my first time doing any kind of leave from a job. It's crazy. So I don't know if people actually have a hard time with this stuff. I've done like a deep dive once on Reddit surrounding short term disability, and I've seen people that are actually even having babies having difficulty getting their payments or getting covered through short term disability. And it's so like, you know, because I'm not really sure how it works, but why would your company approve the leave only for you to get shorted on the benefits that you come to work for, literally along with your paycheck? Like, it's, yeah, it was crazy. It really was. But hey, I'm just glad I did what I could, and now it's over, and I can move on, check that off my list, cross it off, and yeah, keep it moving for sure. So that's the video on my short-term disability experience. And I believe the last video for my sterilization will probably just be a 1 year update, which will come later this year. And excuse me. um and yeah, so that'll be later this year, I think. Till next time.